Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sunflower Roses. We're your hosts, Fatima,
And I'm Riley.
and we're so glad to be back.
We're finally back.
We're
Oh
finally
my
back.
God. Girl, we have been trying to do this show forever. I continue to say to people, like, oh yeah, we're still working on that. And then we just never did. We never did anything.
Never happened. And if you notice, we're in a different setting.
Yes.
We're at my house, but outside.
Yeah. We're parked outside of Fatima's house, in my car, because neither my house nor your house are we able to film. So
My house is too loud.
Yeah, my house is also chaotic in its own way. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we will no longer be able to film, at least for now, at my house. And so this was kind of just like a weird little idea that I had of doing it like in the car, because I was like, literally, where else?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know anywhere that we can film publicly. Like, I think you had mentioned to me like the library.
Yeah, like the little what are they called? Like little room that they have.
Yeah, I've seen at the library they have little private rooms for people to study and all that.
It'd just be weird though because like they have like the windows are like
yeah,
big.
people will be able to see us, so it's like it's not too private. It's only like 50-50 private. And I figure where else is it more private than in my car? So yeah, we're joined here by also I got a little cup holder, I got Bluey and the Demogorgon joining us back there, but they won't be speaking with us because yeah, we don't have enough mics. Also, the mic situation. If you want to think right here. There we go. Yeah, so I got these mics, and if you guys have seen my videos, you would know that I've already tested them, and although they do work, thankfully, unfortunately, I don't like clipping it to my clothing, nor like holding it like with my fingers, because if you've seen my videos and you've paid attention to audio, it still kind of has feedback, it interferes, and it's like I don't want to be hearing that. Like if it's a YouTube video, it's like whatever, but it's like this is a podcast, like I don't want that, you know. So I figured, what gets more Mexican than DIYing and putting it on for.
I mean, it works.
It works. It works. I literally thought of this morning, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm a genius." So yeah, just to clarify, because there's probably people who don't know what the show is, and I don't blame them because it's been a while. First of all, I did double check right before we came out here. Okay, this is when you went to your mom's room.
Okay.
I did double check. We started the show 11 months ago. We started the show 11 months ago. Episode 2 came out 8 months ago. And we're barely on episode 3, girl. You know how far we'd be right now if we would have just like made it a routine, tried our hardest to do this show, and unfortunately, life happens. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Majority of the time, I will say it has been my fault that we don't get to film, because I always tell her like, "Yo, girl, we should try to film on this day," and then I'll let you know in advance too. I won't let you know like, hey, like tomorrow. I mean, yesterday I did. I'm sorry, but we were gonna hang out anyways. But normally I would let you know, like I would try to set a date with you because I want to make sure like if it's good. Are you good to do it this day? You think you're gonna be free, and then you'll let me know that you will be free. And then literally morning of, something always comes up, and we just don't end up filming or anything like that. And I think this is something that people know about me by now. And if you don't, with me, don't know so much about you personally, because I know like we don't do this often, but like I don't know what it is about me that like if I'm just genuinely not having the best day and my mood is just off, I I don't get into this. Like I'm not feeling it. And unfortunately for us, like, we don't get paid for this, so it's not like this is like a job,
Yeah.
It's different if it was like your job, because it's like, well, if you're having a bad day, you still have to go to work,
Yeah.
you can't be that irresponsible enough to be like, well, I don't feel good, like I'm just not gonna go to work. This podcast, unfortunately, I mean, not so unfortunate, but it's just like a fun little hobby thing that we started. And this bottom line, if one of us isn't feeling it, what can we do?
Yeah.
We're not gonna force character on a camera, because that's something that I've spoken of that I don't believe in. I don't do that. And I wouldn't want you doing that. But yeah, we have been trying to do this show for a while. How do you feel after me saying that though? That we started the show 11 months ago.
That's crazy. Honestly, it feels like we started like a longer time ago. It doesn't feel like 11 months. It feels like longer.
Yeah, because yeah, it was funny because when we were in your room, you told your sister we're finally gonna record our podcast, and your sister goes, "Oh, you mean episode two?" Which
We're like,
took
no, three.
yeah, technically it's episode three, okay, and it's been about a year. But no, yeah, it's funny, but you know what? In a way, I'm really proud of us because it's a common thing that podcasters kind of hear about, or at least like if you were to go on TikTok and you look up like advice for podcasting and all that. One of the main things is that when you're barely starting a podcast, especially when you do it like as just like a hobby, like you're like, oh, this would be fun. A lot of people tend to quit like after like a few months, which looked like what we did. But you know, I made it very clear like we technically didn't quit, and we never even like mentioned it like, hey, like you think maybe we should just not do this, you know, like we never did that. So it's like we really wanted to try our best to like to do this, not necessarily so much like, I mean, it would be nice to like be able to profit off of this because it's like, you know, who wouldn't, you know? But you know, we just like doing this for fun because like I was the one who suggested like, you know, I wanted to make a podcast at the time, and I was thinking of doing it alone. Because I didn't know if you would be up for it. I didn't know if you would be open to doing it. And so when I suggested it to you, I was honestly really surprised that you said yeah, that you were so down to do it. And you know, I tried to come up with a name that would fit both of us, not just like the Pink Rose podcast, you know, because that's my thing. Um, Obviously, it had to have something with you to do in it, and I always like to make uh I always like to make it clear like this isn't like one of my shows. It's like it's this is our show, you know.
Hmm.
So it's like I could have carried on the show a long time ago and just continued to have done it weekly like I originally would have liked to. But it's like that wasn't the point though, you know? That's
Yeah.
kind of why I started my own show, which like, you know, promo, my own show. I have my own podcast called Help Me I'm Scared that I started just by myself, and I do it by myself. Because I didn't want to slowly just start like pushing away from this show because it's like the show was created like by the two of us, you know, and I feel like it wouldn't feel right for me to just only record my face and have even like when we were trying to do it through like the phone or through like FaceTime and all that. It didn't really sit right with me like having the phone recording me like my face and your voice but not your face because it's like that right there almost feels like that's like me featuring you, you know, like you're a
Hmm.
guest on the show, and it's like that's not the point of it. So yeah, it's been a journey. It's been an undocumented journey with this show.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just so glad we're here. I'm so glad we're here and we're finally doing it.
Finally.
Yay, we're finally
Woo!
here. So let's finally start off with saying how are you doing as of right now?
As of right now, I
Yeah.
am doing good.
You're doing good. That's good.
I'm good. Just tired.
Yeah, I feel
It's
that.
spring break.
I know. She's on spring
I'm on
break.
spring break. I'm so happy. Last week I was just so stressed,
There was a
and
lot. There was a lot going
it
on.
was a lot. And then after I took that like last test, I was like, I'm free for a
Yeah,
week.
for a
I'm
week.
free.
She's free for a week. You say you still have
But
homework,
I still have homework, but I'm not
but
going to class.
at least you'll get to rest. You get to sleep in. So you know that's something that I feel like once you have that routine of like you have to go to school, you have to go to work, like all those things. It's like you really learn to appreciate like your days off. Trust me, I did.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean for me, I mean, you know more than anyone here that life's been very stressful for me. I've
Hmm.
been going through a lot, which hence the reason why we don't do this because I'm always the one to back out on like, yeah, like I don't think we're gonna film today. Because I just have a lot of ups and downs in life, and it's gotten to the point where it's like so much that I tend to like forget about like the good things in life, you know, like
Hmm.
um I start to forget about the things that I should appreciate and stop looking so much at all the negativity in my life, which is something I'm still working on today. I will be honest. I'm not saying I'm 100% good on it. There's just a lot going on in, I want to say, both of our lives. It's stuff that we won't talk about on camera because it's private, but it's like, we have our own lives going on, and just so much has been going on. And that's kind of why, like, a part of me really just like always tries my hardest to make sure like you and I hang out at least like once a week,
Hmm.
because I know like when you and I like when we're talking with each other, when we're with each other, like I feel like that's like probably the best way to really distract yourself, because like I know you, like, you get really like happy like when you have something going on, and then you talk to me on the phone, or you talk to me in person. And for me as well, like, I always just find myself like needing someone with me right now, like whenever I'm going through something, and you're the first person I go crying to. And that's just like, I just try my hardest to be like, let's at least try our best to see if we can be with each other like in person
Yeah.
at least once a week, because I just feel like that's like the best thing to like really help out with the darkest times in our lives, with all the stress going on with, you have school, you have work, you have personal problems. I have a lot of problems similar to you, except I'm not in school right now, but that's something on my mind as well. So it's like we're both like equally struggling, and it feels as if like the only way we're ever gonna really get through those times is when we're with each other and when we help each other.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's kind of just an update on how we've been doing, because I know there's probably people out there who probably watching this who don't know who you are,
Yeah.
because it's been a while.
They're like, who's that?
Yeah, they're like, who? Yeah, but I mean, OGs know that you've been in some of my vlogs. You've
Hmm.
been on a couple of my vlogs. Um, and yeah, and we have a show together. That's one of those things that's like, it's like one of those things I see on TikTok that like we best friended so hard that we started a podcast together. We started a podcast together. And then you used to send me videos like memes on TikTok of like me and my bestie after one episode of a podcast, and it's like two girls getting arrested. Because that's how we thought we were gonna be. And yeah, sometimes podcasting can get wild. Trust me. When I'm in my room doing it by myself,
Yeah.
I can go off the rails. It's fun. It's just really fun. Um, and yeah, also I really apologize for the heat in here. It can get hot in here. My windows don't go down, so but it's cold outside, so I just figured like we're gonna enjoy this for a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's finally move on to something that I want to talk about. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because I really want to get your opinion, right?
Okay.
Um, so I feel like it's fair to say you're a much you're a much bigger Disney fan than me. Yeah, yeah. You're like, you don't even have to say anymore. Okay, you're a much bigger Disney fan than me. Um, don't get me wrong, love Disney. Okay, I love it. Um, but I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this, and I feel like you know what's coming.
Okay.
Um, I wanted to get your thoughts on this whole situation with the Snow White movie.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, unless you think you're gonna get us canceled, then be careful with what you say, because I don't know, like it's a topic, it's nonstop on my TikTok, and
Right.
it's just something that like I want someone to talk about this with. I mean, I
Okay.
talked about it with my sister, but my sister doesn't know really much about, other than the fact that there's a Snow White movie.
Yeah.
But you as a Disney fan, I kind of wanted to get your point of view on this. Like, I wanted to hear your thoughts. And afterwards, like I had another one related to Disney that we'll go into. But in the meantime, I was just curious, like, what are your thoughts? Because this isn't something that you and I have really talked about.
Okay, but what are people saying?
Well,
Like, what's the controversy?
a lot of people are saying things about the actress. There's a lot of people saying how the movie was made differently from the original. Um, People just honestly had really big issues with like casting and all that.
Hmm.
So it's like I kind of want to know, like, do you have any opinions on the casting? Any of the drama going on with Rachel, or do you have any thoughts on them changing up the movie to make it less of like fantasy, like romance type of movie? Like, is there anything that you would like
Yes,
to share?
I
Okay.
have thoughts.
Okay.
All right, so my first thought when I saw the trailer, like my first thought when they first announced that there was going to be a movie, and I saw who was going to play her, I didn't have a problem with the actress herself. I
Mhm.
love Rachel.
Okay.
I love her.
Okay. Mhm.
If you haven't seen her in the Hunger Games movie, amazing.
Yeah, the that's probably one of the only movies I know her from.
She's also in West Side Story.
That was the movie I first heard of her from. I didn't know who she was until I saw that movie.
Yeah.
And then I saw she was in Hunger Games. She was in like some Shazam movie that was.
Yeah.
I didn't like that movie.
Apparently it was bad, yeah. But
Yeah.
but when I first saw that she was casted, I didn't have a problem with her.
Okay.
It's just like you know how the origin of Snow White, her name is Snow White because her skin is as white as snow.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I was like, wait, but she's brown.
Yeah.
And I'm not like being mean or anything because my family's brown. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a brown person just in white.
Yeah.
But it's just at first I was like, well, she's not like as white as snow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I got over it because I was like, you know, it's fine. It's, like, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not problematic. I promise.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that like I guess from like the story how they changed it, that's the part where I'm just like, why'd you change it?
Yeah.
You know? And like I was like, because they were talking about how she wasn't gonna be saved by the prince,
Mm.
and she wasn't like searching for true love. And at first I was like, well,
Well.
I'm like, that's not Snow White then.
Yeah.
But then I guess I did like think about it, and I was like, well, I guess it's just an adaptation of the movie because the original movie is called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Mm-hmm.
This one's just called Snow White.
Just Snow White, yeah.
So it could be just like an adaptation. It's just like another version of Snow
Kind of
White.
like a like I know in the book community it's known as like a retelling.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very much so based on the original story, but it's kind of like
it's just a little different.
It's a little different, yeah. I did notice that actually. I'm surprised like that didn't come to my mind is that they didn't put in the title like and the Seven Dwarfs. Like it's literally just called Snow White, and I literally that didn't cross my mind whatsoever because I was like, I mean, that should have been the first hint. Like it's gonna be mostly just about her, you know, which
Yeah.
you know.
And I know people have a lot of like problems with the actress herself, just with the fact that she's not white. Just going back to that, like topic that she's not white. And I'm not sure if you were gonna mention this, but people always mentioning what's it called, the Little Mermaid movie.
Yeah.
They always mention like her movie, and for that one I didn't understand why people were being like, well, she's not white. Why do you have a black mermaid?
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's a fish.
Yeah.
She's a fish.
She's a fish for crying out loud.
Yeah, and it said like she was Dutch, right? Like the Little Mermaid is Dutch, and I'm just like, you're not gonna only find like white Dutch people, like people from like what are they called? Danish people. Sorry if I get this wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at geography, but people like that speak Dutch and stuff like they're not just like of white skin color. They can be in any skin color. So I don't see the problem as to why people are like, oh, well, she's black. I'm like, she's a mermaid. She's a fish. And I know some people that didn't watch it because of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you missed out on a good movie because it was so good.
I actually really liked that movie.
It was so good.
It was really good. Oh my god.
And then just a bonus, Prince Eric's song.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I love Prince Eric. It's like, is it hot in here? I mean, it is hot in here.
It's, yeah. Oh my god, I just realized how fogged up my window is. Jeez.
People are gonna think something.
I know.
I'm like, no, we're just filming.
We're just filming in here and it's hot. Okay.
It is pretty hot.
Oh my god.
Woo, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's the whole race thing that people are always like bringing up. You know?
That's always the issue with.
It's always the biggest issue.
Because, like, first of all, let me just say Disney in general, them doing all these like live action adaptations of the old original like classic cartoons, like I get it because in my eyes that's one of the things that like I feel like they do it more so just like for the fans because it's like obviously, like, I want to say our generation and anyone older, um, we grew up on like watching those old like cartoon movies, those old Disney movies. Um, so old, so that, I mean, I don't know if you had any when you were a kid, but like, um, the reason why I say our generation and anyone older is because like I remember like me like growing up like as a little kid, like I had like all these like old original classic movies like on like VHS tapes.
Me too.
Like that. I feel like these movies are made for those type of people that like it's one of those things that like it's kind of for the fans, you know what I mean? So it's like obviously older generations like they're gonna get really hyped because it's like, oh my god, like my childhood, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when the Little Mermaid came out, like when have you ever heard anything new with like the Little Mermaid?
Mm-hmm.
Like Snow White. Like when have you ever heard anything new like related to Snow White? I mean, I know Snow White had like other live action movies. I think
Mm-hmm.
there was one with like Chris Hemsworth in it, if I'm correct.
Where?
I don't remember what the movie was called, but I know people out there probably know this because I see it all over like TikTok of people being like, oh, like the evil queen, like, oh, Gal Gadot, like that's not my evil queen, and they'll show like another live action version from another movie
Oh, I think I
being like, oh,
know.
this is my evil queen.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what that movie was called, but from my understanding, I think that was also supposed to be like a retelling of Snow White. But it's like you get what I mean,
Isn't it
like
like the Huntsman or something?
I think something like that.
Yeah.
I honestly I think I saw that movie like years ago. So
Yeah,
it's like
but it's not like based on Snow White. It's based on the Huntsman that was sent to kill her, huh?
I think
Right?
so. Yeah, I think that's a movie I'm gonna have to rewatch.
Yeah, I've never seen it actually. I've only
I
heard of it.
saw it a long, long time ago. Like it was a long time ago. But I just feel like these are one of those things that like Disney does this like for the fans and all that. But then there's people that like the topic of race always gets brought up when they make another like live action
Mm-hmm.
movie because I feel like with like the whole like Disney trying to be so inclusive and like woke as people call it, they're trying to include like you know people of color and things like that, like the Little Mermaid for example, Snow White for example, like, and I feel like that is like people's like biggest problem is that like, well, they're not the same color as what the old original princess looked like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? um and the reason why I say that like race really is one of the biggest issues with when Disney makes these movies and they always end up having a lot of controversy is because like I didn't hear, I mean, to be fair, I don't think TikTok wasn't a thing yet, so it's like you don't really hear a lot of drama and all that. But like when the Cinderella movie came out, when the Maleficent movie came out,
Mm-hmm.
what was the other one? The Sleeping Beauty one came out. The those three princesses being played by white women. And at the time, I mean, I was, we were young, so it's like we weren't on the internet enough to know like drama tea or anything like that, especially with movies. Because like this is one of the things that like I as a we're big movie fans. I was gonna say me, but like we're both big movie fans. I miss the old days when like you would just watch a movie
Right?
and
Yeah.
that's it. Like you would just watch it and like you'd be like, oh, well, that kind of sucked, or like, oh, that was a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like nowadays, like you still can do those things. I'm not saying you can, but it's like nowadays, it's like you have to be really careful with how you talk about movies because that's actually one of the things. I don't know where I heard this. It might have been another podcast, but I
Mm-hmm.
heard something
Yeah.
that like, oh, like tips for like podcasting and like tips for like YouTubers for beginners,
Yeah.
right? And they said that there are three topics that you should always try to avoid. And unfortunately, we don't avoid one of them because we just can't help ourselves. But the three topics to avoid in order to prevent yourself from getting canceled, having controversy, and having just people in general like hating on you are the topic of politics, the topic of religion, and the topic of movies, because all those three things can easily get you canceled. And
Yeah.
all those three things, people will have very strong, like, disagreements with you to the point where they'll argue with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was gonna say is that, like, obviously, like, we just love talking about movies because we just love movies, you know,
Mhm.
like that. I just love like getting to review like a movie and all that. Um, and
And it's just our opinion.
it really just is our opinion. We're not saying like, oh, like y'all really should go support Snow White. Like, I'm not saying that. You know, that's not
Yeah.
what that's not what this episode is. Is to try to change people's views on the Snow White movie. Like, that's not what we're trying to do. It's just like that's just our opinions on like what. That's why I asked you. Like, you know, like I wanted to know like how do you feel about like this whole controversy or whatever. Um, and like nowadays like you have to be careful with like how you go on the internet and be like, oh, I just saw this new movie, it was really good, because it's like people who strongly will disagree, like they'll very easily like somehow some way, I don't know how they do it, they'll get the fandom to turn on you.
Mhm.
And trust me, I've seen this because me as a big, because here's a big difference between the two of us. Fatima was a very big Disney fan. I'm a very big horror fan. Big difference, right? But even the horror community can be very much like can very be very much like this, because let me give you an example, and I hope a lot of people out there remember this. Um, when the Scream movie came out, I believe it was Scream 5, the first one that had Jenna Ortega in it. When that one came out, a lot of people really liked it, and the horror community, we all came to an agreement like, wow, like this was a really good movie. Like, we're really happy with the way, like, you know, they brought back Ghostface and all that, and like Scream and all that. Like, it was a fun time, like on like Twitter and like all those like on social media in general, because it's like the horror community kind of just like was having fun with it. And then, unfortunately, I don't know how long it was afterwards, Netflix released a movie on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I will be honest, at the time when I first saw it, I was really excited for it because obviously it's a new Texas Chainsaw movie and it was a Netflix original. At the time, I watched it not knowing, besides watching the trailer, I knew nothing of it. Like, I haven't heard any single YouTuber's point of views on it. I didn't really pay attention to anyone that was like trying to get it hyped or trying to get it like boycotted. I was like, I don't know. I'm going into this kind of blind.
Mhm.
And I watched it on my own, and I watched it the day it came out, and I kind of had fun with it. Like, I was like, okay, like I kind of too was kind of like, okay, this was kind of like it wasn't good, but it wasn't like as bad. And then I started going on the horror community online, and people were having mixed reviews on it. A lot of people really hated it, and a lot of people actually really liked it. And unfortunately, that just completely threw off the horror fandom, because people were really starting to turn on each other over this goddamn movie of like, oh, you like the new Texas Chainsaw movie, oh well, then you suck as a horror fan, you know. And it's
My
like
gosh.
it sucks, like it really does suck, you know. And like horror is something that's like, I feel like you have to be really understanding with it, like, because like there's a lot of different genres of horror. I mean, there's horror movies that have to do with like, you know, possessions, there's slashers, there's some that have to do with like animals, like, you know, like Jaws and stuff like that, you know.
Mhm.
um and then there's like those like really dark, disturbing movies that you only hear about like on TikTok, and it's literally TikTokers being like, don't ever watch this movie because it's so disturbing, you know. And you know, I feel like being a horror fan, like I'm open to a lot of it, like I watch a lot of it, you know.
Mhm.
But I also understand like the feeling of being like, yeah, I love horror, but like I just won't watch these movies, you know. Like, there's a lot of big horror fans out there that refuse to watch anything that has to do with like animals, um possessions. You know, there's there's horror fans out there that they just can't watch these things, you know.
Mhm.
And it bothers me as a big horror fan that there's horror fans out there who are like, oh well, if you don't watch that, then you're not a horror fan. And it's like,
People have their limits, and
yeah,
people have their
there's
things that they can't watch because it makes
yeah,
them uncomfortable. That doesn't make them like
yeah,
not a horror fan or not a fan
yeah.
of whatever it may
It
be.
doesn't make you less of a fan
Yeah.
because, well, I just refuse to watch this movie, you know.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, like I just don't get that. And like I feel like going back to like the whole thing with Disney, saying that you'll refuse to watch or you're gonna boycott this movie because of the fact that like something so simple as like, well, the main actor, the main actress is a person of color. To me, that's very like really like you're still like upset about that, that like, movies are doing this. Like I just feel like this is nothing that should be new anymore. Like
Yeah, like going back to like the whole not Snow White, Little Mermaid movie. I know some people that didn't watch it because of that,
like
and
you
like
know them personally.
I
Like
know
you
them
Oh
personally,
wow, okay.
and I asked them, "Have you seen it yet?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Why?" And they're
Mm-hmm.
just like, just don't want to." And but I know that it's because of that.
Mm,
Like they've made it clear that it's because of that. And I've had coworkers too,
wow.
like just say that they didn't like it, and I'm just like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, because she's not like the original." And I'm just like, "All right."
But I feel like that shouldn't take away from the fact of like the movie
It's
though.
yeah, it's her character. They still do the same story. It's like
Because
still going the same story of like her wanting to go to the shore and have like
mhm,
love, you know?
yeah.
It's still going to that same story is still there.
Yeah.
It's just an actor and not a drawing.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's the same thing as like, oh well, I really like this movie, but like I'll be honest, like I don't really like the actor. You know? It's like the actor, I mean, aside from the fact that you don't like them or you don't care for them or whatever, in my opinion, that shouldn't take away from the fact that like this movie could still be really good though. There's a lot of actors, actresses that I genuinely don't care for. There's some that I don't like. Um, there's certain actors that I like them to the sense that like, and I won't say names. Maybe I can tell you afterwards if you want.
Yeah.
Like I like certain actors for the way they look. Very attractive people. I saw that. Very attractive people, but I have heard controversial things
Yes.
that they've done,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the part where I'm like, okay, well, I don't support you as an actor,
I just like your
or I
face.
just I like your face, I like your movies, I like your work. Like, don't get me wrong, like your acting's really good. Like you're in really good movies. I just you as a person, I don't care for
You
you.
kind of suck.
Yeah, you suck as a person, but you're a really good actor,
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of my take on this. And
No, yeah, I get that.
yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted to get your thoughts on it, because like my thoughts personally, the original thing that bothered me about the Snow White movie is the fact that they did change the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, like I'll be honest, it's been so many years since I've seen the original Snow White. I couldn't tell you word for word what happens or how the movie works out. But to my knowledge, all of those old Disney movies, like at some point, they all have to do with like love, true
Yeah.
love. A woman finding her true love. She's a princess. That's literally like that is the fairy tale of a princess finding her prince charming and falling in love. Those Disney movies are those stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that came from,
Yeah. And
and
I think that they're trying to change that because of the audiences, you know? The audiences are like, "Oh, well you have to include like women don't need men." You know?
yeah,
But I'm just like, "Well, that's the original story. It's what we grew up on, you know? It's a
yeah,
fairy tale,
that
you know?"
yeah, that's exactly what my sister was saying. Is that like Like I get it, but like it's a fairy tale. Like
Yeah.
what do you want? Like it's a fairy tale. I just like don't get me wrong. This whole thing with like women empowerment and like movies and all that,
Yeah.
especially a movie with like a female lead, I
Mhm.
get it. Like
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. Like I'm not like I love that.
Yeah.
Um and I personally just think like even though I understand like people supporting that and like Disney wanting to be woke like that, of being like, well, this movie's not going to be about a woman needing a man. This movie's going to be about a woman who can do this on her own. Like she's very strong as a woman. Like I get that, but it's like to me it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like this is one of those things that like if this is for the fans though, it's like the fans would have liked the original story being told in live action though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'll give you the same example that I gave to my sister, is that that's like them remaking or making another movie on like Romeo and Juliet, but it has nothing to do with love, nor does she care for him.
Yeah,
Like
that wouldn't be Romeo and
that
Juliet.
wouldn't be Romeo and Juliet in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's like I don't get like why did they
Yeah.
decide?
I mean, I think she does have a prince in this movie. She does have one,
I believe so,
but she doesn't fully rely on him.
Okay.
You know, like how in like how in the original,
Uh-huh.
she like he has to kiss her for her to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, I mean, she still has the prince. I don't know if they end up together in the end or not, but she does have her prince. I just don't know how it ends.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either, but I did just want to like get your thoughts on it because it's like it's something that's just been on my TikTok a lot lately, and I'm just surprised. Like you and I haven't really talked about it,
No.
and I was like, this is such this is such good content. There's a lot of things that I've told you about, like in person, that I'm just like, man, I really wish I could have said that for the podcast, but who knows when that'll be?
Right? Yeah.
Like I really wanted to get your thoughts on that because, like, I don't know, like it's funny to think that like people just on the internet, like they'll just like trash so much on like
Mm-hmm.
the thought of like having like someone of color playing like what was originally like a white like character,
Mm-hmm.
But like obviously for me, because this is something that I've been seeing a lot lately. We haven't got any confirmation, but as a trans girl, I really like the actress Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hunter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people really want Hunter to play the live action version of for Zelda because they're making a Zelda live action movie apparently.
Okay.
And a lot of people are putting like a comparison of like who would be such a good match to play the princess in this movie, and a lot of people have put a picture of Hunter saying she would be a good match, and I agree. Like if you genuinely look it up, like Hunter would be a good match for it. And obviously for me, I would love it just because it's like, kind of similar to like going back to the princesses and like their live action version trying to be more inclusive. Like, Ariel became a black mermaid, Snow White being played by I don't know where
she's Latina.
She's
sure.
Latina in some sort, I don't know exactly where, but and so obviously it would mean something for me personally, like knowing like, oh, now we're getting a trans princess. But the thing is too is that like people are gonna take it to the fact that like they're gonna think like, oh, they're gonna make Zelda a trans character, and it's like that's not what they were trying to do. This is just the actress playing the princess, and for me that's another thing too. And I find it so funny when I think about. I saw this meme when this whole thing with Zelda was going on. I saw this meme of like it was four pictures, and it was a it was a tweet. It was four pictures of different celebrities, and three of them were girls. One of them being Hunter. The other two, I have no idea who they were, but they were trying to basically see like, oh, like who out of these four do you think would be like the best like to play Zelda?
Yeah.
And the fourth picture was like a memed picture. It was like a meme of like some guy. I think it was like it was a very big meme. It was probably like I don't know, like Walter White or something from like Breaking Bad, like like those memes, right? Like it was that, and let's say the pictures order were like on the top left, it was a random girl. I don't know who she was, and then on the top right, it was Hunter, and then on the bottom left, it was that picture of like Walter White, and then on the bottom right, it was that other girl. And someone replied to the tweet, like basically trying to be like transphobic towards Hunter, being like, "Oh, like the top right person, like that's a man," trying to be like transphobic. And whoever tweeted that clapped back so funnily, like so funny and so quick, saying like, "So we're gonna go ahead and ignore Walter White in there, right?" Because that's also a man. In case you were
Yeah.
blind, in case you didn't notice, you just wanted to take a shot at a trans woman.
Yeah.
But you completely ignored the fact that they were trying to get Walter
A whole
White,
man.
Walter White
An actual man.
to play Princess Zelda. Like
Yeah.
that it's funny to me. Like that right there, like is comedy to me. It's humor to me because it's like wow, like I just love like me personally, like I love like seeing transphobic people being like just so dumb and stupid because it's like they really just get clapped for like their nonsense. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people like the main thing, like the main like comment that transphobes always hit us with is like, oh, like, well, you look like a man, you're always gonna be a man and all that. And I'm just like, it's 2025 already, and like us trans people, like we're kind of just bored of that. It's like that's it. Like that's the only thing you got. Like it's like, dude, you know how many times we've been hit with that? Like you guys can't come up with anything new. Like, geez,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I think it's. I just wanted to mention that because like, you know, I understand the whole inclusive thing, but
Yeah.
you know, because it's like, because she was in the Hunger Games as well,
Mm-hmm.
and technically speaking, her character was not transgender.
Mm-mm.
That was never the point. That was never like even in consideration. Like that's just the actress who played that character, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that right there kind of just proves like whoever the actor or actress is, like that like that's not necessarily in my opinion, that's not necessarily them changing up the whole story now to be like, "Oh, well, um I don't know. Let's just say, for example, they make another Cinderella movie. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of Cinderella movies. Let's say they make another Cinderella movie, and the lead actress playing Cinderella happens to be a transgender actress. I don't think that the people who make the movie would be like, oh well, the actress is trans, so we just make Cinderella transgender. Like that's not how it plays out, unless that's how they originally wrote it, where they were to be like, well, we want to make a movie, a transgender movie on a transgender Cinderella. Then you would like, then you can see it that way, you know. But it's like for me personally, like I just don't see it that way because it's like whoever you are as an actor or an actress, like yeah, you're playing the character, but it's like at the end of the day, like you're just giving what the story is.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I see it, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, speaking of the Hunger Games, because I sent you a thing the other day on TikTok that said that the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes was not as hyped as people made it seem. Like I feel like I feel like as a like what do you call it like as as a nation, as a community, as
Yeah.
the human race,
Yeah.
I think we moved on from that movie way too quickly
Yeah, we did.
because
Well, definitely.
like the movie came out, it was great, loved it, I was excited, um and then like that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's a good movie. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, like okay, thanks. Like that was it. Like
It was definitely a really good movie.
I
It
really liked it.
really was.
Yeah, I
And
really
'cause
liked
I went
it.
to go watch it with my sister for Thanksgiving for a little tradition that we do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it was really good.
Mm.
You know, I even cried a little bit.
Oh.
It was really good, and like I just love, you know what? I just love when something related to I was about to say Harry Styles for some reason. I don't know. For like anything Hunger Games related like happens, that just like triggers something in people and they just go watch all of the movies again. Have you
Mm.
noticed that?
Yeah.
They mention Hunger Games once and everyone it's trending on
Yeah.
TikTok, you know? And it's
Yeah.
so funny to me. I just love it. I love when people do that.
Yeah. I actually started getting back into doing that because it's something that I used to do. Like whenever I know, like, oh, a new movie's coming out, like
Mm-hmm.
I gotta rewatch it, or like a new season's coming out, like I gotta rewatch the whole show again. Like you know,
Yeah.
which I'm gonna eventually probably do it with Stranger Things, just because.
Oh yeah.
Or I'm so excited for the new season, but it's like I feel like every now and then we get like another update, and then like that's it.
Yeah.
I'm just like at this point I have completely forgotten like how how long it's gonna take until the season comes out.
I know.
By the way, I'm gonna sidetrack really quickly. We're gonna get back into this. I'm sorry. if you noticed, and if you noticed on on camera as well, I kept getting distracted looking like over here.
Why?
Because I saw a car. I saw a car pass by.
Uh-huh.
And it was wrapped, right? It was like a little like square car, like a Kia Source.
It was pink, no?
Yeah, did you see
I
it?
saw it.
Okay, so have you seen it before or no?
No.
Okay, I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I think a lot of people out there are gonna know what I'm talking about. You probably won't, so I'm gonna
Okay.
have to explain this to you.
Oh no.
The car was wrapped in what looks like a trans angel's wrapping.
Okay. What's
So
that?
Trans Angels is a website for transgender porn. I
What?
swear, I like because I saw the car coming and I like looked at it, but it passed by too quick, and unfortunately, my breathing's too much that my window's like all fogged up, so I couldn't get a good look at it anymore. But like I
Oh.
swear that car was wrapped in a Trans Angels website wrapping, which is literally a transgender pornography website. Like
Oh
I was
no.
like, no way this happened on your neighborhood.
On my street.
On her street. Oh my god.
There's children.
I know, that's so hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, going back because I just had to mention. I had to mention that. There's no way I wasn't
All
gonna mention that.
All right, we're back because
We had to take our sweaters off. It's so hot in here,
you
guys.
see me. I'm like,
I know she's all melted, like me with my window that's all like.
at first, I don't know if you noticed if you go back to like the beginning of this video, our hair was nice, you know. And now it's like all
Look at
janky.
this.
Like, it's all wet.
Look at this mess. Ew. I mean, we're shiny.
Yeah,
We're shining. Look at
it's
us.
the glow.
I know we're shining, so that's it. That's something
It's
at least.
hot.
Pain is really beauty, girl.
Yeah.
That's something we say to each other. We always say that pain is beauty, and then you always end it with amen. Yeah. So, anyways, going back to our topic. So we are gonna go ahead and dive into one of our favorite segments because Fatima was really excited. Oh my god! Because obviously there's been a lot, but obviously just mention the ones that you
Yeah.
care to talk about. So this is a segment that we do at the end of the show called "Things Heard, Read, and Seen." Um, I just realized, and I feel so bad that when we were recording our second episode, my phone ended up dying. And
Oh, right.
we only recorded my segment, and I was like, "Oh yeah, next time we film next episode, we're gonna go right into Fatima's." And we just never did. Oh my god. Okay. Well,
so this is my segment then.
yeah. So if you want to go ahead and start it off, if you want to, and if not, just...
yeah. Okay. Well, ever since that video, I've read more things. Hold on, there's something in my eye.
Okay.
But I read more things and I've seen more things.
Yeah.
You know. But yes, I can talk about a book that we've both read and you read before me.
Oof.
And
Yes.
I got FOMO, so that this book came out a while ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna read it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I didn't read it.
No.
Second book came out, I was like, I'm gonna read it. And then never read it.
Still never read it.
Third book is out, and I'm just like, you know what? I have
Finally
to read
have to read it. That's
which is Fourth Wing.
Yes, we read Fourth
We
Wing.
read Fourth Wing.
So actually, it's funny because of the release of the third one of the Onyx Storm, that's what made me feel like I need to read these books because I really got hyped for it, and I'm like, well, how can I read the third one if I still haven't read the other two?
Yeah.
So that's when I read it first. You're right.
Yeah.
So you had the book before me because you have it on Kindle.
Yes.
And then I really wanted to read it, and so I bought the physical book. And then from there, I read it on my own, and then I'm pretty sure I recommended it to you.
Yes.
Because even though you were already gonna read it, it was already on your TBR. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I was the one who kind of was like, "Girl, like."
You nudged me, and you're like,
Yeah,
go,
I was
go.
like, "Girl, you really do have to read this
Yeah.
book because it's very much your taste."
Yes, I love fantasy, romantasy, all of those things. That's the thing that's different about us. We both like romance, just
In very different ways,
levels.
though.
Different levels of romance, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into this book, and everyone likes it, so I hope I like it, and I loved it.
She loved it.
I loved it.
Honestly, it didn't surprise me that you loved it that much.
I loved it so much, and if you haven't read it, you can just, I guess, go past. But all I'm gonna say is Liam.
Oh, my poor baby boy. Oh my god.
When I tell you, I was listening to it, and I was on my way home from school when I was listening to that part.
You were
And
driving?
Yes.
Girl.
And mind you, it was raining, okay?
No!
It was raining. My windshield's covered in rain, right? And then as I was listening to that part, I started crying.
Oh,
so I couldn't see because of the rain and because of my tears.
I'm surprised you didn't just like pull the car over, get on the street, and just like, why? Just like to the rain, you know? Like,
it was so. I didn't think, because I already knew he was going to. Like, he was going to die.
Did you know this before you went into the book? Or
yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I had heard people talking about it, and I was like, "Who's Liam?"
Oh,
and then,
okay.
And then Liam was introduced, and I was like, "Oh, I really like him." But then I remembered, I was like, "Oh wait."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "I'm still gonna read it," and like it still hit me like I had never known about it. Like it hurt.
Yeah.
I grieved.
Girl. I was.
grieved.
Yeah.
It was so sad, and I don't know. It's just like the thing that everybody. It's on like book talk. It's going around that little his last like quote to her, his last words. He's like, "It's been my honor."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, shut up.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I'm like, rest in peace, bitch, shut up.
Oh my god. You know what's it's so sad because like because we haven't finished it yet. I mean, I don't know about you, but as far as I know, you and I both started already the Iron Flame.
Yes.
Still not done with it.
Not done.
But all I can say about that one so far is that this book makes me more sad for Liam than the first one.
Yeah, because it talks about him way more.
Yeah, because like you hear like I think it's his sister's point of view, and just like the way she's dealing with it. Like I feel like this book makes me miss him more than the first book did. Like
yeah, and it's such a good book, and let me just say, Xaden.
Oof. Yes. You know what's
Xaden Ryerson.
What's funny is that when you told me like, oh, by the way, I started Fourth Wing. Well, the first thing I told you is I already know your reaction to the end, and you obviously you weren't gonna ask me like what is it, you know, because I couldn't tell you, but I for sure knew you were gonna have a thing for Xaden because I know you. I know you. I'm like, if I had a thing for him, she's gonna have a thing for him.
Definitely gonna have
you know,
a thing for him.
And I was also referring to Liam's death. Because I know, like, even like with something else too. Like when you told me that you were watching Arcane, the first season, when I first watched it, I right away knew. I was like, "Yo, she's gonna send me snapshots of her crying to the ending of season 1," and you did, and I was like, "There it is." I was like, "I know her." Like
I was literally eating chicken nuggets, and it was so sad. I couldn't even enjoy them.
Oh, my
like
God.
Oh my gosh. It's just so sad.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know. It's like
yeah, no, it's a good book. If you haven't
really
yet read it,
which if you haven't read it, you're probably living under a rock like me because it's been out forever.
No, I mean, I technically I started it late as well.
Yeah,
but
it's okay though.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah, for real. As a matter of fact, I feel like for people who love to like get through books quick and like get on to the next one, I feel like you're at a good part because it's like you can just get the 3 of them already, and it's like not like I can assume like what fans probably felt like, oh, like the first one came out, now I gotta wait for the second one, and it's like, oh, the second one's so good.
I like doing that too because I'm just like, I don't want to wait.
Yeah, that's how I am too. That's kind of how I am with TV shows as well. Sometimes is that if it's on a service where like an episode's gonna come out a week, I'm gonna get excited and I won't want to wait just like be like, oh my god, like I want to watch it already, you know? Like I will still watch the episodes like once a week, but it's like I just like I understand when people like decide to wait because it's like.
And I also love when like I click on a show and I see that it's already a completed show.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no more seasons coming. I'm like, okay, I can watch this fully and like not want like maybe wanting more, but like it's over, you know.
It's over, so it's like okay, like I already know it then. Like I already know the whole thing. Yeah, book wise, I mean, yeah, I know you really like that one. We both also read The Housemaid. Yeah, we both read The Housemaid. Because I mean it's one of the most popular books right now, especially because there's a movie coming out, so I'm excited about that.
We're on 2 different sides for this movie. I don't know if you can 2 different sides.
Yeah, because when we found out that the main lead like actors who they were gonna be, I was more excited for the girls. She was more excited for the guys.
Because we found out it was going to be Sydney Sweeney first.
Yeah.
That's what we found out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm excited. And then I told you. And
yeah.
And then Amanda's, I don't know how to say her last name. Seyfried?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then her, and I was like, oh my gosh, so cool.
Mm.
And then when we found out who was playing Andrew, I was like, Brendan Slinar?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were.
And then when we said, who's playing Enzo?
Uh-huh.
I think this is how you pronounce his name, Michele Moroni.
I think so.
Michele
Yeah, if I
Moroni.
remember.
And oh my gosh, when I saw that he was playing and he's gonna play Enzo, I was like, I am sat in that theater.
You know what's funny is that while I was reading the book on my own, I just figured I was like Fatima would be an Enzo girl. Like,
oh yeah,
she would definitely like be like, she'd be so like onto him.
I
like,
was down bad for Enzo. I was like, that Gardner.
Yeah, like I don't know. I was like, yeah, but we were both fangirling on two different sides here.
Yeah.
But overall, excited for the movie.
Such a good book.
Such a good book. You finished the second one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't even like picked up the second one yet. I don't know.
I won't say.
Yeah, it's just for the purpose of me that she's not gonna give her thoughts on it. But I mean, you will say you thought it was good, right?
It was good. First one is better.
Okay.
I'm not saying that the second one sucked. You know, it was good too.
Mm-hmm.
But like the original was always good.
I mean, yeah, you can't argue with that. Yeah,
you know, and like it was like another twist because you know, Frida McFadden. Frida McFadden is known for her twists in books. So this twist, I was like, whoa. I was like, Queen, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this is a really good book. And I guess I'm going to read the third one because we are reading it for my book club.
Oh, your book club's on the third one already then?
Not yet.
Oh, okay,
After our meeting, I think they are going to go to the third.
Oh, because your book club is reading the second one, no?
Right now.
And you guys haven't discussed it yet? Oh, okay, yeah. So then most likely you guys will.
Yeah, we decided that we're going to finish the whole series. I
mean, that's a good way to go. That's a really smart thing to do is with your book club. It's just like, let's just get through this series.
We were going to do Fourth Wing, but at that time I hadn't read it.
Everyone read it.
Want to.
Oh, okay.
And then everyone read it on their own. And then that's when I texted him. I was like, hey guys, I'm reading Fourth Wing. And then I texted them and I was like, what? Liam.
You know what was my favorite thing about when I think it was because you called me or texted me during your book club or after your book club that you guys were discussing what your next book was going to be. You told me that you guys were going to like do like a vote. You were the one that suggested the Housemaid, correct?
Yes.
Because you had already wanted to read it, so you were like, might as well, you know. And well, for starters, congrats on you winning that vote. But I was laughing. I was laughing when you told me that someone in the group suggested Haunting Adeline.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way you're going to read it. I was like, you're not going to read it. And I was like, if anything, like if that book would have won, but you were like, oh, I still want to go to my book club though. Like you definitely wouldn't have read it. But I feel like you would have come to me and been like, Bessie, like, help me out here. And I would have been like, say less. Take a seat. Yeah, and I would have brought out the whiteboard and all that. Like, oh my god.
This is where it starts.
Yeah. Technically speaking, I mean, you know I have it, so it's like if you wanted to, you can always borrow it. I just don't have the second one yet.
Yeah.
But
that's so funny.
Yeah, when I was I'll be honest, and I don't mean to be evil to you, but I was rooting for that book to win. Just because of you. I was like, oh my god, like I was like
just to see how I would react.
I was like, God, please give me a good laugh right now. I was like, I hope this book wins. No, but your book ended up winning, which is really cool. I haven't been to my book club for like 2 meetings already. Well, technically this month they read the book The Ruins. Because I go to a horror book club, so it's like all we read is horror. They read The Ruins, which I wanted to read because I know there's a movie based on the book, which I've never seen either. So it's like I don't know anything about the movie. I don't know the book, obviously. But my friend Kai from a book club, they actually told me that because I asked them, I was like, what did people think about the book? Because they texted me saying like, hey, like we missed you at book club. And I asked them, I was like, oh, like what did people think about like the book? Like how good was it? And they actually said that The Ruins, the movie, actually does the book pretty good justice.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's like, how often do you hear that? You know, we're like, oh, the movie was just as good as the book. You know, like that kind of like made me happy because I'm just like, oh, like this is definitely a book that I still would want to read, and a movie I would still want to watch, because I just hate, like, I'm sorry that I became that person, but like back then when I used to not read, I was always like so annoyed by people being like, "Oh, like the book is better," you know. I was always annoyed by those people when I was young, but it's because I didn't read. I got into reading, and suddenly, like, I'm one of those people now.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god.
If you're a reader, you're definitely gonna be that
If
person.
you're, yeah, I'm just sorry, but you can't escape that.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna be that person.
It just comes with the contract.
Yeah, because there's so many differences, and you're just like, wait,
Yeah.
they left this part out, or wait, they added this part. You know?
Yeah.
Like, sorry if you guys like this movie, but it ends with us. I mean, it was good. It was good, right? But it did take out a lot of things. They did take out a lot of things from the book.
And that's crazy because the book, I mean, I've never read it, but I've seen it. It's not a big book. Like, it's
yeah.
It's not.
Like, it's like this.
Yeah, no, like it's
no,
not.
It's like small.
It's a small book, so it's like, how much could you take out of it? And then like the fact that like they did. I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I'm just really hoping that the next one that they do, because this is for Colleen Hoover. I mean, I'm sorry, I know we don't really like talking about it. People that we don't like, but I don't really like the author.
Yeah.
I don't really like her.
Yeah, I don't really care for her.
Some of her work is good, you know? And Verity is coming out the movie.
I was gonna tell you about that, because I know that's a book that you actually recommended to me.
Yeah, I read it. I read it in the day, right? But as I was reading it, I still felt as if someone was watching me.
Oh wow!
It scared me.
Wow.
Like, yeah, and like that movie's coming out. I don't know when, but I really hope that it's better than it ends. With us. I really hope the directors, the producers, everyone that's making this movie, like, do way better.
Hopefully, there's no drama with this movie, because I feel like that's what ruined it in a way. It's like there was so much drama with that movie that it's like that's all I focused on. Yeah. Like,
and like, I really hope it's good, because it has Anne Hathaway, it has Dakota Johnson, it has, what's his name again? Oh, I forgot his name.
The guy from Trap, no? Yeah, I was gonna tell you. I was like, isn't the guy from Trap in it?
It's like Josh something.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I'm really bad with names.
But yeah, yeah, I can never, his name or never sticks. Like, I know it's Josh and then something else.
Yeah,
but like he's in it, and I liked him in Trap.
Yeah, we watched Trap together while we built Legos. Corrections. I built Legos.
I watched Trap.
She watched the movie, and then she pet my head at one point.
I got excited.
She got excited, and she literally was like, like she literally pet my head. I was like, oh my god.
And you didn't see what part it was either, so you were more confused.
I was more confused because I was like, what? Like, what happened? I was just so focused on the Legos, honestly.
Yeah, so it was, she built the Legos. I watched the movie.
Yeah.
And it was such a good movie. Oh, I loved it.
I liked it. Yeah, I really did like it. Because we were originally wanting to go see it in theaters, and then for whatever reason we just couldn't. So then when we found out that it was going to be on Max, we set a date to like watch it, and we went to my house. And because the whole Lego thing, I had always wanted to do that with you, like, because I see videos of like best friends like building Legos together, and I thought like, oh, like what would be like a cute little like Lego date. And I saw this Lego set for Wicked where it's both Glinda and Alphaba, but it's like little big figures, so it's not just like the little Lego minifigures. And I was like, that's perfect. I was like, because it's the two of them. I was like, one can have one and the other one of us could have the other one, you know. Like, I thought that was cute. And so I bought the Lego set, and then we set a date to watch the movie at my house and also build the Legos. And till this day, my sister makes fun of us for that, because one thing about my living room, the living room that we filmed the first 2 episodes in, that living room doesn't have a light, if you've noticed. So I'm not joking when I say the two of us, mind you, half blind over here, we were building Legos in the dark.
We had our phones out.
We had our phones out. Yeah, like one of us would I think it was like we would swap, like take turns and all that. Whoever was gonna focus on the movie would be holding the light. Yeah, which was mostly her. So I'd be like, all right, like hold the light, and like I'm gonna be like building these Legos.
Reminds me of like my dad when he tells me to hold the light, and I'm like here, and he's like, he gets mad. He's like, hold it closer.
Yeah, he's like, keep the light still.
Like, I'm trying.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah. We did another similar thing today where we set a date to watch a movie, which we just watched. That's why I'm at her house.
Yeah.
So we watched Knives Out, the first one, by the way.
There's a second one.
There's a second. See, so this is the thing. Fatima had never seen Lights Out, and I was like, I didn't believe her. I was like, there's no way you hadn't seen Lights Out. I was like, I would have thought this was a movie you were trying to recommend to me, you know? Or I would have thought even like Shelly had seen it before. But she didn't seem like she like knew it either. Um, so I'm kind of hoping that you're now gonna show it to her.
I am. I am. Like I knew about it. You know? I had seen like stuff about it. I knew when it I saw when it came out the first time.
Yeah.
And people said that it's a good movie. I just never got around to it. And then you told me you were gonna watch it with me. I was like, okay, then I will watch it because she's gonna sit down and watch it with me.
Yeah.
And I was.
She actually stayed awake.
Yeah.
She stayed awake.
Because I worked a full shift today. So
yeah, she was tired.
I was tired, and at first I was like.
Yeah.
But because I was tired, but then the movie kept going, and it was a pretty good movie.
It was a really good movie. Yes. Here's the thing, and I don't want to ruin it for you. You have every free will to watch it. There is a second one. It's actually a Netflix original.
Okay.
Personally, the second one is not as good as the first one, in my opinion. Like, I think if anything, like I'll let you watch it, and you can give me your thoughts on it. But me personally, like I genuinely just think like the first one, like we said earlier, like nothing beats the original, like nothing beats the first one, you know. And I mean, it's true, unfortunately, is that like I was so excited when they were gonna make another one, because obviously like Knives Out, like the first one was so good. And then I found out that it was gonna be a Netflix original, and I got excited because I was like, great, like don't have to go to the movie theaters, like it's on Netflix. And I watched it, and it's good in its own way. I will say that. I don't think it's bad, but I mean, I'll let you watch it whenever you can, whenever you want to. And you can give me your thoughts on it. Maybe when we film our next episode in like 17 months, you can give your
like
thoughts
12 years.
in like 12 years from now when we film episode 4. You can hopefully give your thoughts on it. But I don't know. Me personally, the first one is way better. That's kind of why I was like, oh, like that's why I didn't even mention the second one, because I was like, well, me personally, I just care that you watched the first one.
The first one was really good.
It was really good.
I was enchanted
by Chris Evans. Yeah. We both were, girl. We're both Chris Evans girls.
His sweater. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that sweater that he wears in the, what was it, like a cafe diner place?
Yeah, it's like a knitted sweater.
When he was with Martha.
Insert picture right here.
Yes, I'll put an image there. It looked so good. It was so cute on him. Like, yes, I was like, oof, girl.
Any like man that like has like not big biceps, yeah, but like a good build,
yeah,
and, like a sweater like that, perfect.
It looked really good on him. It looked really good on him. Like
she was even wearing a sweater like that too.
Yeah, she was. They were like matching, like, kind of.
Maybe I'm just biased.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But yeah.
Yeah, we did watch Knives Out right now, because that was one of the things too that we had said we were gonna do for a while, and we just never got around to it. I think because of the fact that like we got so used to having movie nights at my place that we just haven't done movie dates anymore. Like, yeah, you know,
we always do them at your house, because like my house is noisy all the time. You know? Yeah, we were trying to watch it right now, and I just always stopped. You know, because I had my parents calling me, my siblings. You know, and with you, it was like no one really bothered you over there. We were just in the room. You know.
Yeah.
But I like this experience. It was nice.
It was nice. You know, I feel like this is one of those things that I had told you about that like I just miss that like we used to do. You know, and I really want for us to like get to do it again. Because I remember, like, I always remember when we would do movie nights at my house. I'll never forget that first time when you came over and we watched Last Night in Soho. That was a really
Chipotle.
Well, she brought Chipotle. So yeah. And then we also watched Halloween. That was one that you fell asleep to.
A little bit.
She fell asleep a little bit, but you know what? I don't blame you. You got comfortable. Everyone says my bed's really comfortable.
It is.
Which I believe, because every time we go into my room, she lays down and she's right away like falling asleep. And then, we watched Trap as well. We did watch that. And I think that was there anything else that we had watched at your place? I mean, at my place that you can remember?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to your house, we just talk.
That's true. That's true.
Like
That's
just hit record and just.
I know at that point, like, you know how many episodes we'd have done already? Like, jeez. Yeah, we like watching movies together because we've gone to the movie theaters before.
We've done that more of that.
I think that's what it was. Is that like we just got more used to going to the movies together. I'm gonna bring it up because I can't ignore it. Okay. Um. So the last movie that I went to go see with her, we went to go see Nosferatu, and I just, you know what? I'll let you tell your thoughts on it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear it all over again.
The first thing I'm gonna say, I'm not even gonna say it, is
If you know, you
If you
know.
know, you
Okay,
know.
we kept doing this with her sister.
but
Yeah,
I actually really liked it. I know
Mhm.
you were scared for me to go see it. I know you
I
were
was.
scared.
I was.
Like from the very beginning when I knew there was gonna be a movie, like when it was just a poster that said Nosferatu on it. I
Mhm,
was like, I want to see it.
mhm.
Like I don't know what compelled me to see.
Did
Like
you know of the original, or you thought this was like a new type
no,
of?
I knew of the original,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay.
and I knew that it was gonna, like it was like a remake of it or whatever.
Mhm,
And I was like, oh, I want to see this. And then the trailer came out, and I was like, oh, I want to see it.
mhm.
And but like obviously there's a part where she's like getting kind of like possessed and stuff.
Yeah, there's like a possession scene in that.
There's a possession scene, and I knew it was coming,
Uh-huh.
so I kept that in mind.
Yeah.
And then we went to go watch it, and every time there was a scary part, I would look over at her and be like, "You like this, huh? You're enjoying this." I'm like, "I know you're enjoying this."
Yeah.
And every time there was a scary part, I would say that to her, and it was just so funny because I know, I can feel it. Every time there was a scary part, you'd look at me.
I would, yeah.
You're like, I can't.
It's because, okay, here's my thing. Here's why I was scared for you, because like obviously when I had told you that I wanted to go see this movie, like most way before it came out, because it came out on Christmas. I don't remember when I texted you about it, but I remember telling you like, oh, like hey, like I really want to see this movie.
Mhm.
But like I say that to you just to like not to get a reaction out of you, but it's like in a way for me to be like, that's kind of me hinting like would you go see it with me? Like, should we
Mhm.
go see it? And I mean, obviously, there's certain movies that I know you wouldn't watch. But
Mhm.
I had told you that I really wanted to see this movie. And then I was honestly surprised that you told me you wanted to go see it. And I was like, oh, okay, then like we should try to go see it together then. And I remember, and I really like, I don't mean to like call you out or anything, but it's like because it's happened more than once, okay? Um, because I'm such a big horror fan, I get so excited when you say you're so down to watch a horror movie with me that I'm just like, oh my god, like no way, like this is happening, like we're doing it. And then like it gets closer and closer to the day we're gonna watch it, and then you tend to back out because you're just like,
Actually,
yeah, she's like, actually, I don't know if I want to watch it anymore. And just obviously, like it doesn't bother me. It doesn't, because it's like, I get it. Like, I wouldn't force you to watch anything you don't want to watch. But I remember being clear with you this time because we were supposed to go watch Smile 2 originally. We wanted to watch Smile 2, and then you had told me that well, I don't know if it was the movie in general or you just weren't feeling like going out, but you had told me that you weren't really feeling it, so I was like, okay. Um and so this time with Nosferatu, because I really wanted to see it, and you told me you wanted to go see it, so I was like, okay, well, we should try to go see it. I had made it clear to you. I was like, if you back out this time,
I'm still going.
I'm going without you. Like I
Yeah.
made that very clear. That I was like, well, if you want to back out, that's on you. But I'm gonna go see it. Okay.
But listen, the funny thing is, we gave her a ride.
Yeah. So this is where it gets funnier. Is that I carpooled with them because her sister went with us as well.
Yeah.
So I carpool with them, and this movie's playing, and things are happening. Fatima looks really scared. You are honestly, I think you were the only person in the theater room who was that scared because you literally jumped out of your seat at one point. Like you literally
I
like
jumped out of my seat.
she jumped so much, like so high that like she literally like had enough to like ball herself up and like lift her legs. Like you were so scared, and things were happening on screen that I was seeing how scared you were, and I was starting to get nervous because I was like, man, why do I feel like Fatima wants to leave? Like, I was like, I feel like she wants to like go home. Like, I don't think she wants to watch this anymore. So I started getting nervous for me, not for you, because I was like, if Fatima tells me like, hey, can we go? Like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Like, obviously, I couldn't be like, no, like we're staying, because I mean, it would have been different if we went in separate cars. Because I could have been like, well, if you guys want to leave, like you guys can go, but I'll stay. But that's the thing, is that like if you would have wanted to have left,
You would have.
I would have had to have left too, so that's why I was like kind of nervous because I was like, oh my god, I was like, please, I was like, I hope Fatima's okay. But yeah,
I was okay. I think the only part that I really did look away was the possession part.
yeah, that
When
was.
she was getting possessed, and that's the part I saw in the trailer.
Mhm,
So I knew it was coming. I knew what dress she was wearing and everything.
mhm,
And that part, I was like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes, and I
mhm.
did. I closed my eyes and I looked away.
She did, yeah, she really did.
And because I don't like possession things.
Yeah,
I hate it. You know,
yeah, no.
like I can do slashers, I can do all that stuff. I just can't do possession.
Uh,
And yeah, I mean, but yeah, that movie was good.
it was really
It was
good.
good.
I remember. Uh, I knew it was gonna be eventually on Peacock because when the movie was coming out in theaters, Peacock had it, but it was like I don't know why they do this. I mean, I get it, but like they like certain streaming services, and I think it's a Peacock thing only. They'll like add it'll make it look like the movie is on the streaming service, and it's like, oh my god, like, am I tripping? You know,
Mhm.
um, and apparently they post like like a first special look or whatever. So it's like here's a little sneak peek of the movie type of thing.
Mhm.
And so that kind of made me think like, oh my god, like the movie's eventually going to be on Peacock. And then when it was, they came out with an extended version, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, no way, I was like, I'm so excited for that. Like I can't wait to see like what they cut out, you know. Um, and I had told you that I was finally gonna make my sister watch it
Yes.
because my sister didn't go with me. Well, she didn't go with us. She knew I was gonna go see this movie, and I kind of briefly gave her an explanation of what this movie is. And I'll be honest, she kind of judged me because she knows that I'm in. Because you guys, I mean, I say you guys, but like I mean, some of you guys out there, my sister knows, I'm very much into monster romance. So watching a movie like watching a movie like this was kind of like it was fun for me. Like that's what she means when she's like, "You're enjoying yourself, aren't you?" Because this movie was very kinky. There was a lot of kink going on. I told my sister, I was like, "Girl, I was like, he be sucking that blood from their titties." I was like, "This ain't no Dracula sucking blood from your neck. It's like he was gulping down blood
From
from their
here.
chest." And I was like, "Girl," I was like,
I was like, he wants more than that.
yeah, I literally told my sister, I was like, yeah, I was like, you know how vampires, how like they suck blood from your, like they just
Your
suck your
neck.
blood out? I told her, I was like, yeah, he be sucking blood from their titties. And my sister was like,
Huh?
what did you guys go watch? And so that when I explained to her like the funny things about this movie, like how kinky it is and like how it's like such a like, well, the YouTubers that I now introduce you to, Dead Meat, they describe this movie as because obviously there's an original and then there was like another remake that was like made in color, and then
Mhm.
there's this one, and they described this one as the horny version, which yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was very horny. And my sister she's just like made fun of me because she's like, you made Fatima go watch that with you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, she actually wanted to. I was like, she was into it with me. Not to the same level, but
No.
but yeah. So my sister, like, she just thought this movie was crazy. Um, and there's this very like, in my opinion, kind of funny. It's funny now because of my sister, but there's like a memed audio going on TikTok from this
It's like you must
bounce on it. Crazy style. Yeah, so that audio is on TikTok. And my sister kind of like she almost looked like she was confronting me because she was like, "Can I show you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why am I getting this a lot on my TikTok?" And I was like, "What is it?" And she showed me like a video of it, and it was mainly for the audio. She was mainly concerned about the audio, and I was like, "Oh, the Nosferatu thing." And she looks at me, and she's like, "Was that in the movie?" I was like, "No," and she's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "No, it wasn't in the movie. It's
Honestly,
a
I
meme."
wouldn't doubt if it was.
And no, and then I asked you because I was like, because I started to second guess myself. I was like, "Hey, girl, was it in the movie or not? Like, did I miss that?" And no, apparently it wasn't because I can confirm because I rewatched it already. Um, which is funny because when I did finally get my sister to watch because I finally told her like, "Oh my god, Nosferatu is on Peacock. We should watch it." And she was like, "Okay." And then she told me, she's like, "If he says it though, I'm taking the movie off." And I was like, "Fair." I was like, "Okay, fine." And so we play it, and she falls asleep.
Oh.
She literally fell asleep. She woke up two different times. She fell asleep. She made it literally to the part where like where Thomas which, yeah, by the way, I was more into Orlok. She was into Thomas. As you can tell, the big difference is. Same thing with Fourth when you were so into Zayden and I was into the dragon.
The dragon.
As you can tell. As you can tell.
His voice.
It's a voice thing.
It's a voice
If
thing.
audiobook listeners would only understand. But yeah, she fell asleep on the part where Thomas was where he like camps out in that like cabin with all those like weird people. So she fell asleep on that part. And she would randomly wake up. She woke up like 2 different times. She woke up to the part spoiler, but I mean the movie's been out for a little bit already. She woke up on the part where he's killing the little girls. Yeah, she woke up on that part and she literally looks at me and she's like, "That's crazy." And I was like, "Right." And then she falls back asleep.
Damn.
And then she wakes up like later on. I think it was like a scene. Well, it was just like it was a scene where he was like on screen, like you can see like his face on screen and all that. And my sister literally like she's like asleep and she like wakes up and she's like, "He's so ugly," falls back asleep. And then she didn't wake up anymore.
Aww.
She didn't wake up anymore. She literally like fell asleep. Those were her final words that night.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, so I consider her watching Nosferatu a flop. And she even told me, she's like, "I need to watch that movie again." And I was like, "You really do, because you missed out on all of it." Yeah.
Yeah, that movie jump scared me twice in one time.
It did.
It jump scared me when his eyes, like, it just went boom, and his eyes opened. And I got scared. That's when I jumped. And then I jumped again because he showed me his.
Yes. That's what this means, by the way. That's what this means. If you've seen the movie, you know what that means. It's when he gets up from the coffin.
Yeah, and like I jumped because like it jump scared me with his face, you know, it opened, his eyes open, and then I jumped, and then it shows him getting up, and I'm just like, ah! I'm like, ah!
And then didn't Shelly say like smash? To be fair, the three of us are Bill Skarsgård girls.
Yes.
So, yes. You know, it's funny.
That's so funny. We just left my sister watching Barbarian right now with Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, we literally just put that on in the meantime while my phone had to charge. And we were like, let's watch Barbarian. Well, no, I think she took it off. She put House.
Oh, did
she wanted to watch House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she took it off after I said bye to her. But yeah, another good movie with Bill Skarsgård. That's a really good movie. Yeah. Yeah, if there's any other movies or books you wanted to mention.
Not yet, not right now.
Not right now?
Maybe the next one in like 10 years.
Okay, yeah, maybe the next one in 10 years.
We'll be on like the 6th book. Not even the 6th book, like the 10th book of Fourth Wing.
I know, for real. The author of Fourth Wing is who is Rebecca Yarros? I think she's gonna end up retiring by the time we put out a new episode.
We're like 10th book of Fourth Wing, guys.
Yeah, for real. And it's like, here's a review on the 2nd book, actually. Yeah, oh my god, we're such a mess.
It's okay.
If there's any honorable mentions, I did want to mention some that I won't necessarily go into details, but I still want to mention them. We did see Wicked. That one was really good. We saw that with your younger sister. That one was a really fun time, and that was really cute because I saw a lot of TikTok saying like, "Oh, like yeah, seeing Wicked is fun, but what makes it fun is the person you went to go see it with." And I was like, "That's cute," because it was both of us. Like, we went to go see it together.
And she was all dressed up. I wasn't, but then we made it work.
Yeah, we did, because I went in my pink. Obviously, Jen was wearing pink.
She was wearing green.
No, she was wearing pink. She was wearing like a pink sweater. Yeah, and you were wearing like I think orange and brown or something.
Yeah,
like,
so I was like, I'm Bach.
Yeah, she was like, I mean, screw it, she's gonna be Bach.
I was Bach.
Yeah, we did go see that. I saw Terrifier, but I know you don't watch that. We actually, here's the funny thing. Terrifier 3, we watched it, like, I say as a family, but it's like me and my cousins. We watched it on my birthday. That's how I spent my birthday. Is we were watching Terrifier, which my sister also fell asleep to. She randomly woke up. It was funny because, like, I mean, for me, like, yeah, those movies are intense, but it's like I'm one of those people, and I know this is concerning to some people. It's probably concerning to you that I can just sleep peacefully after watching things like that, which is very psychotic of me. But you know, I'm not one of those people that like, oh, I just watched this scary movie. Like, I need to watch something happy now. Like, I'm just not one of those people. And when we watched Terrifier, we ended up well, because of my cousins and all that, they were the ones who were like, "Nah, we have to watch something happy afterwards." So, mind you, my sister fell asleep. She fell asleep in the beginning of Terrifier. Randomly would wake up. She woke up to the shower scene. Yeah, she woke up to the shower scene, and again she was like, "That's crazy," and she fell back asleep. And then she didn't wake up until my cousins were playing. Like, I think like they were watching, like at one point they were watching like Phineas and Ferb, and then
Oh,
they took that off, and then they were watching Hannah Montana.
gotta get the bad spirits
And my
away.
sister's like, "What just happened?" Like, I fell asleep to Terrifier. I woke up to that crazy shower scene. And then suddenly Phineas and Ferb is on screen. Like, I just like, what happened? And I was like, yeah, girl. I was like, you knocked out for a while. But yeah, Terrifier 4 is already not in production, but they're already working on it. Supposedly the last one. Yeah, so obviously I'm excited. I know you're not.
I'm okay. I like I say, like I always say, I always watch him through you.
Yeah.
I watch him through you. You tell me, and I'm just like, oh, I can already see it in my head. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, because honestly, I'll be really honest with you. I love doing that. I love doing that because it's, again, like, I feel like I get to, like, I pull out the whiteboard and I'm just like, girl, let me tell you about this movie.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, like, going back to what we were saying earlier, like with the Hunger Games and all that, like when people get excited about like rewatching like the other ones before the new one comes out, I just did that yesterday. I was watching all the Final Destination movies.
Yep.
Another movie franchise that she refuses to watch, but technically I won't let her watch them either.
I've
Because
seen, like, I saw one of them when I was younger.
you said you saw the third one,
The
the one with the
third one.
roller coaster,
Mhm.
correct? Yeah, that one.
It's engraved in my brain.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if you're not a horror fan and you've seen one of those movies, whichever one it was, whichever scene it was, it will stick with you.
Yeah.
It will stick with you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched all the Final Destination movies all yesterday,
Mhm.
and I mean, I had a good time because I'm so excited for the new one to come out.
Yeah.
And that's why I did it. I also plan to do that with the 28 Days Later movie.
I actually do want to watch those ones.
You want to watch those ones?
Mhm.
Okay, well, we can watch those ones together if we ever want to.
Yeah.
Because it's only two of them right now.
One
Because
is 28 days, 28 weeks. and
yes,
then 28 years.
28 Years is the one that's coming out. I think this summer.
With Aaron.
And
Taylor-Johnson.
yes, oh my god, another good actor in Nosferatu, by the way.
Mhm. He was yearning. He was.
Yeah,
yearning.
he was.
A little too much though.
Oh yeah, he
A little
yeah.
too much.
When I explained to my sister how he died, she was like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, girl, this
He
movie's."
died because like he basically got the plague, right?
He technically got it, but it's the way he got it. Yeah, it's yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cut the
No,
cameras.
no. But yeah, yeah. So 28 Years Later is coming out soon. Another great movie that I'm actually excited for.
Mhm.
And I mean, it makes me kind of excited that you actually want to watch those, because I mean, it is only two of them, 28 days and then 28 weeks, which we can try. I can try to see what they're on, um, that way we can hopefully watch them together.
Okay.
Whether it's, I mean, I don't know if those are movies that you would be okay watching at your house or
Probably
not.
not.
Okay, so we'll just try to
Your
set
house.
something at my house then. We'll try to
Yeah.
set something at my house to watch those, because I do want to watch
Even
those.
though we were just watching Barbarian.
Yeah, technically, I mean, you guys. I mean, I know you guys have seen it, but Shelly did take it off before anything happened.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I'm doing that. And yeah, it's just some honorable mentions that I wanted to obviously mention, because it's like I feel wrong not mentioning these, because it's like these are, to me, like, they're great, you know.
Yeah.
And also just something that I get excited over.
Mhm.
But that, going back to you, because I know we're gonna end this pretty soon. If there's any honorable mentions that you wanted to, whether it's books, movies, we never really talk about music. Music. I know you. I know you. I know you be listening to a lot of. Yeah. She listens to Epic.
I was like, what? But then I remembered. Epic.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like.
If you haven't listened to Epic, you're late. Just kidding. Better late than never. I love Epic.
I will say I started it, and I started it.
Yeah. If anything, I'm late because the person that made Epic, Jorge, he started with like making Epic in 2020, I believe.
Wow.
He started and he finally ended in December of last Yeah, no, not last year. Yes,
Like,
December of last year.
like the final chapter,
The
like
final
that, like it's
saga,
done
yeah,
already.
it's done.
Oh, okay.
So there's
Interesting.
9 sagas, so there's 9 parts, and each part has like 4 to 5 songs.
Okay.
And they all tell a story, just like a musical. But it just doesn't. It's not just like it's not in a play. It's just music. But they just tell you the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I love it.
She loves it.
I love it. I listen to it on the way to work, on the way to school.
Yeah, it's like I like to think like you probably have it memorized.
Almost.
Almost. She's getting there. She's getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, honorable mention to Jorge. He is amazing, and I don't know. He's like genius. He's a genius. Because me, I wouldn't be able to do that, and he like sings really well, and like I just really like it.
Oh, okay.
Because I knew about Epic as it was like still going on. But I never got to it. Just like Fourth Wing, you know?
Yeah.
And then I finally did, and I was like, "Whoa, this is so good!" And now I can't stop listening to it.
I know, it's like it's so funny when I'm like, I'll randomly call her or like text her, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like listening to Epic.
Yeah.
That's all she listens to, and I love
FaceTime Epics in the background.
Yeah, Epic plays. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the other morning we called and you were singing it as you were waking up. I was like, it's literally her morning routine. It's her morning routine. I love that. It's cute.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, that's my honorable mention right now. Love that one.
You know what's funny is that I'm already thinking like, which is gonna come first, episode 4 or me finishing Epic? Like, which one's gonna come first? Is our next episode or me actually finishing Epic?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. Here's the thing though, like, it's not one of those things for me, like my perspective on it, because I do like musicals. Same thing with Disney, not as much as you. I can proudly say that. I love musicals, but I know you're more into them than me. I just think for me, like it's been hard for me to get into it. I did tell you that, like, because I feel like for me, like the beginning kind of starts slow for me. So it's one of those things that for me, like it's like one of those shows that it's like you kind of have to power through like the first few episodes to start getting like really hyped with it. And with me, unfortunately, I just find myself like, and you know this too, like I struggle even like with like shows and all that. You know, I start so many shows and I just don't finish any of them. You know, like I recently also started watching the show Yellow Jackets. The new season just came out, and I know, girl, can you see, you guys can see how fogged the car is. It makes it look like we're like, oh my god. I mean, I was gonna make a horror reference, but I don't think you're gonna like it. We're just like, it looks like it's like so like cloudy outside, and it's like, no, it's my heavy breathing.
And mine.
It's my heavy breathing. That's what happens when the windows don't go down. So unfortunately. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I think that's probably oh well, I before we wrap up, because I was saying my thoughts on Epic. It is something that like I feel like because of like how hype you get for it, that like it interests me enough to try to get into it. But I just feel like I myself just haven't like been doing it, you know? And it is one of those things that like I kind of wish I could get into it, because it's like you said, like you would like it if like you and I can talk about Epic, you know, like you get so like you would want for us to talk about it, for us to fangirl over it. And it's like that's mainly the reason as to why like I kind of want to get into it, is because like I want to have another thing that we can talk about, because it's fun, you know, it's fun fangirling together, even though we fangirl sometimes about different completely opposite things, you know. But yeah, but that is my take. If there's anything else you would like to say before we end this off,
I think we've said enough.
I think we did a lot.
We said we were gonna go less than an hour.
Yeah, we were gonna try to go for like maybe like 40 minutes, and I don't even know how long this is. Okay, so we had to switch cameras because mine stopped recording. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. We're gonna end it here. This was so much fun. It was. I had so much fun.
It's really hot, but we had so much fun.
It's really hot, and honestly, until we can figure out like a set wise, this is what we're gonna have to be dealing with. Unless we do it in your car one day, where we can actually roll down at least the back windows. Yeah. But you know, we'll work on that, because I mean, clearly we're still trying to figure this out. Yeah. We're still trying to figure this out. But yeah, this is where we're gonna end this episode off. So if you guys would like to keep up with us, follow us on anything, I don't know if you would want to plug in any of your TikToks or anything like that.
Yeah, you have my TikTok. I just forgot what it is.
That's okay. I can put her you guys can follow her on TikTok. I'll put it on the screen. I
also made a book talk account if you guys want to follow that too.
Yeah, she has a book talk account now too, so you guys can show some love to that as well. I'm currently mostly only on TikTok because I'm not on Instagram at the moment. So you guys can keep up with me there. And yeah. Okay, this is for audio listeners only, okay? I completely didn't realize that me plugging in our TikToks on the screen meant that those of you who are listening to the episode have no idea what our TikToks are. So I'm going to go ahead and read them out loud for you guys, okay? So if you guys want to follow Fatima's personal account, okay? Her main account is at Fati Islas. That is at FATIISLAS_. Now, if you guys want to go ahead and check out her book talk account, which she just recently made, as she mentioned, that is at Fati Reads, which is at FATI.READS. That is at Fati Reads. Now, if you guys want to go ahead and follow my account, go ahead and just, it's basically the same thing as my YouTube channel. So it is at Riley's Pink Rose, at RILEYSPINKROSE. Okay, so those are our TikTok accounts for those of you who are listening. I apologize for that, okay? We're going to go ahead and go because it's hot and I don't know how I'm going to get home. This car is so fogged up.
Gonna have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to have to... I'm gonna have to open the doors or something. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go, and we'll hopefully see you guys hopefully soon. Hopefully you guys will see more of Fatima over here, okay?
And Riley.
Yay! Alright, well, we're gonna go, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!